when they do introductions, they're like, it's so amazing. I'm like, no, not really. Like, it's just me and just Todd and all that
It's all
stuff.
good, man. I think it does. I don't think you need any of that stuff. This is supposed to lift up the hood a little bit, you know.
And that was pretty cool, by the way. Like when you put up that poster, like pop the hood or pull back the curtain. That's my phrase. I use that all the time.
I'm sure I picked it up from you along the way.
Like when I have people come in and I talk about like Facebook ads, I don't lean in saying Facebook ads. I say like I'm gonna pop the hood and show you how this darn thing works.
Yeah.
Write me a check, and that's exactly what you did, which is pretty darn cool.
Yeah. It's like you're just I help people like sell stuff. Like it doesn't matter. Like Facebook is just it's just where everybody's at. It's the train. It's moving, and you just got to jump in front of it. You know.
You know what I thought was really cool is like you said, Facebook leads are just people, right? Yeah. Just people raising their hand and saying, I'm interested. Here's my card. And like everyone that, well, I mean, we mentioned this before we went live, but like half the people I talk to today still think Facebook isn't a thing that can move the needle in their business. And there's like, I go, really? Like, look at the leads on the phone. You know, those are people wanting to buy stuff, but like,
well, and like, what do they say? What is then if it's not a place where 2 billion people hang out every month? Like,
it's imaginary. Like my son's on it, or everybody's on Snapchat.
Like TV or radio? Is that how you're gonna like get out of here? You know? And I buy TV and radio media for certain clients, right? Like, because there's some people that are just stuck in that space.
And they definitely do not get the ROI, the leads, all that.
You can't see it. You can't track it. You don't know. I mean,
is that how you ended up getting that $6,500 client? Did they do TV and radio? Or no?
No. So he was an old. I worked in the music industry for a number of years.
Yeah.
Like 11 years in e-commerce in the music industry space. So we sold guitars and amps and drums and stuff on the web. We were doing that early on, and he was one of our sales reps for a microphone manufacturer, like the microphone music gear.
That paid the $6,500 was one of your sales reps.
He was a sales rep in the music industry. He was like a partner in a large sales rep firm, and then he retired, and then decided he just kind of in his retirement wanted to do something fun with his family, and so they have a huge passion for like the equestrian verticals, like horses. And they own horses, and they teach people to ride horses and stuff, and so it just made a lot of sense. And he had like the business acumen to do it, so he did it right, and he wanted to build a retail store first, and then go into e-commerce, which seems backwards, but he wanted to build like a shop that was like when it was an experience when you walked in. It felt like you were in somewhere in Montana. Howdy, sir. Like that's what he wanted to build.
This is like an hour and a half south of you or something like that, right? Like,
yeah. So I'm downtown Cleveland. They're about an hour and a half south. So that was pretty much like how his business started. And I onboarded him when I first got started in this as a trial. I said, hey, let me give me some ad spend. Let me run some advertising for you for free. And then we'll just kind of see what we get out of it. And we did a 30-day trial. He was like opening the grand opening of his store. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, I want feet in the door. I want them to see what I've built out. I want them to see this.
Nice.
Okay, well, let's give them a reason to show up. And so we cultivated an offer, which was like a free widget. It was like a horse halter or something. And it cost him a few dollars per halter. But he generated in 30 days, it was over 100 people opted in.
Beautiful.
Right. But like the most important part is like 80 people showed up like through the door. And of those 80
walked in and showed up.
So of those 80 people, like over half bought something else. Right.
Beautiful.
So he turned like a $900 ad spend into like $4,000 in like 30 days.
Isn't that crazy? Like you fiddled around on the internet, and real life human beings went to like a horse ranch type of business.
Yeah.
Hour and a half away out of downtown. It's not a doctor. It's not a dentist. It's not a chiropractor. It's not a gym. It's not like on the standard Facebook ads radar. And you met this guy a long time ago. Wait. So how did you guys get in touch or reconnect, right? Were you
So I think we were like Facebook friends, and I saw that he was launching this new store, and I'm like, this would be perfect, right? Because it's a niche-y kind of vertical, and I figured it would be easy to find those people, you know.
Yeah, because horse people are very vocal about being horse people, right?
Yeah, and it's not like so. And I run a lot of campaigns for gyms too, and like you can often find it hard because like how do you target somebody? You don't necessarily want to target somebody interested in gyms or weight loss or who's already going to a gym. Like you kind of want to target people who have not on their radar, right?
You want to target people that have a problem that the gym could solve.
Right. So anyway, I just reached out to him. I'm like, hey, I've launched this new agency, and you know we're focusing on like digital advertising and like driving leads and sales. And would you do you have a marketing budget that I could work with if I just do a trial run for you for free? And he's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Like it was so easy.
Right. He's like, okay.
Yeah. Because what does he have to lose? He's gonna blow that money in some way or another. Like
radio,
he's looking at it.
Billboard, all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was it. And then, the month 1, I didn't charge him. Month 2, he's like, hey, we need to keep this going. And then he became a paying customer at month 2.
Okay. But before we go into that, so when you ran the campaign, you said, I want to drive you walk-ins and leads and sales. And you didn't talk about like A/B testing or split testing or that crap. You like use his language, right?
Yeah.
And then did you start off with like customer research, or you just kind of like threw an offer on there because you knew it would work?
Yeah, so this was back when this was like one of my first campaigns. So I did some like audience insight research on like the audience insight stuff just to kind of see in this city with a radius of 30 miles or so, like how many people are there that have interest in these things, right? Okay. That gives you like a nice kind of, wide net. And you can get a round number, right? So you can define your audience. And those are the things we talked about. Like, hey man, I feel, or Facebook feels rather, that there's 150,000 people within the 30-mile radius of your store that are into the thing that you do. Nice. That's what we say. Nothing to do with like, the strategy and campaigns and ad sets and objectives like that. They don't care about that stuff, and that's what, as a Facebook marketer, as a digital advertiser, or whatever you want to call it, like that's what we are wrapped up in on the day-to-day. So it's easy to talk about all of those technobabble terms, you know what I mean, that they don't care about. So I think it's important to like remember that, obviously I run into a lot of people in the space who are they're in the Facebook ads world and they've tried to do it themselves. So they kind of speak the lingo, and like, but you have to like gauge those people. You can't just assume that everybody understands what an ad set is.
Most people, like, even if they do, they're too busy doing something else to care that much.
Right.
But okay, so the first month with this free trial, you reached out to them. You're like, hey, I see you're doing a thing. I want to do a free trial. They're like, sure, great, fine. You ran it for the first month, had a cool thank you offer. And now this guy is jumping up and down because real life human beings walked into your store, right?
Mm-hmm. And spent money, yeah.
And spent money, and half of them bought other stuff. So did you have a conversation with them saying like, hey, great, let's look at the people that walked in. Did you follow up? Or was it like, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what happens.
Well, they have a, so he's pretty, he's got that kind of business acumen. So they had already built up like an inbound and follow-up process for their business, right? So, and they've got like a rewards program, and they're trying to like, they're focused on retention. They want to keep people coming back and coming back and coming back. So I didn't really have to have those conversations with him as I do with a lot of other people. Like he already understood the importance, which is good. And yeah, we did a few more months of just generating leads and like trying to get people to show up. And
so hold on. First month was $0.
Yeah.
And then you said, let's resume it. Let's figure it out. And did he spend money with you directly to pay you, or did he just increase the budget, or what was that second month?
Yeah, he spent. So then I started charging him a monthly retainer at that point at month 2. And this was like back when I was still figuring out what it actually cost me to do it.
Yeah.
And it's always the hardest part, right? Like,
is this
we want to charge we want to charge based on the value that we're bringing, not the time that we're spending, right? That's the goal. But you can't do that at first. You just can't.
So is that number going to be small? That second month number? Is that what that means?
750.
Okay, that's fine.
And I told him that was half of like what my target was at that time. And my target was like $1,500 a month, you know,
Cool.
to run a lead gen campaign that's fairly simple with a two-step.
And you pay for the ads, right?
What's that? Yeah, they pay for the ads. I actually only work in the client's ad account too. So I step them through setting up the ad account. They set up the credit card. That way I don't have to, I know there's a back and forth about this topic, but I just prefer to work in their accounts because at that point I can say, you own all the data. I don't want you to feel handcuffed if this goes south.
Gotcha.
It's just a value add type of thing. Like, because I don't want them to feel like, what am I paying for?
I like it when I have them handcuffed.
Like, yeah, I get it.
That's how I prefer it. That's what Todd's talking about. Yeah. Okay. So first month was 0, second month was 750. And that transition was you saying like, hey, I think this is awesome. Can I charge you? Like, sure, you got it. And like you pre-framed it correctly saying like, look, this is half of my target for you, 750. Are you in? And he goes, yes.
Yep.
So now half 1450. And then when did you make that proposal that made him say yes to $6,700? Was that month 3, month 4? What was that conversation like?
So there was, and I should say that, there was a large gap. So we ran like a paid, monthly retainer for a few months. And then he said, look, I have a goal, and my goal is to launch a large e-commerce website for this brand. Nice. And it's like, we need to stop doing everything else because I need to focus on that. I need to focus on building that out. And so there was about, 8 months or so in between. And in that time, he bought out the business next to him to make it a shipping station.
Which is
right?
So cool. I think that's absolutely awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah. And he's building out his website. He's doing it the right way. They're creating great content there. They're carrying good products. And so when the time came that they were getting ready to like push live on the site, he just called and said, I think he had followed up a few times in that kind of little down period. And he's like, hey, I haven't forgot, like, this is really important. Don't think I'm gone.
He paid you for the second month and then kind of disappeared doing other stuff or whatever.
Yeah, like I think we did two or 3 months of paid like lead gen, and then he kind of just said, let's put this on pause while I can realize the vision of this website. And in that time, I had worked with a number of e-commerce clients, so it was something that was becoming more and more like muscle memory for me. So I said, hey, let's have a conversation about how we would tackle the strategy. And this was about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Cool.
We just jumped on the phone, and I kind of, at this point, he was a little bit more acclimated with the idea that we're using Facebook, right? But I still didn't really talk about Facebook. I was talking more about his website and the strategy of like getting people there, and then based on what they do, we do other things. It's not a Facebook ads discussion. I like that.
I'm going to put that down. It was never a Facebook ads discussion. What would you call it? Like, it was a how to generate business discussion?
It was a strategy session. It was just I was like basically just saying, look, these are some options available to us, right? And in the e-commerce space, there's a couple different funnels that you can take them through, right? There's, because he's a local retailer, but he wants to expand. He wants to launch, countrywide, right? Yep. But the minimum viable funnel that we would launch would
viable funnel. That's awesome.
It would be, top of funnel would be driving traffic to the website based on what they do or don't do on the website. Bottom of funnel is just retargeting them. You know what I mean? Like that's the minimum that we can do.
Yeah.
For e-commerce. And so this was the discussion that I was having with him. I'm like, look, think about it like a typical buying decision. You've got awareness, nice. You've got consideration, and you've got conversion, right? That's how you should think about anything in your business. And how we take people or ascend people through those 3 bullet points is completely up to us. The minimum viable way of doing it is just setting up like that top of funnel, send traffic, bottom of funnel retarget based on what they did or didn't do, right? And that was just the conversation. And he's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And then, so it was like a few emails back and forth about, you know, the website and how we would do it, and, you know, pixels and stuff like that. And just because he's curious now, because he's a little bit more acclimated with Facebook. And then it was one more phone call.
Cool.
To just like sure up any doubt.
Yeah.
I guess. And then I said, well, look, Mike, let me put together an actual strategy for your business. And I'll put together a small deck. And it was like 4 or 5 slides. It was so short. But it's high level. It's like 30,000 foot view, right? It should be easy to understand. It was Google Slides. There's nothing technical crazy about it. And then I launched Zoom, and I just started, and I hit record, and I just started going over the deck.
Perfect.
And it was 10 minutes. And then I create like a little, and I do this for every client, but I create a little landing page on my website, you know, that's like avalancheadvertising.com/client name. Yep. And then there's a password, and they put it in, and then there's a big video and a deck that takes them through my strategy for their business. Wow. talking about their lingo, or I'm talking their lingo, like how we're going to do certain things. And then below the video is a big link that says download proposal.
Nice.
That's where we get into the weeds of like all of the deliverables that he's going to get from me as a result of paying this amount of money. Yeah. Right. Like, and that should be so easy, right? Like, because when you buy a car, you get like a laundry list of everything that the car has. And then if you're buying a loan, or if you're getting a loan from them, you're getting the terms of the loan, and you're getting everything that you're paying for. You know, there's mountains of paperwork. So yeah, I just relegate it to a nice looking proposal in my invoicing software, and a line item what it is that he's paying for to equal all those things, and that's it. And I included ad spend in that proposal, which is something that he understands that technically isn't something he's paying me. Right. Like the ad spend is going to Facebook. That's a monthly charge. And yeah, I mean, that's it. It's simple, you know, it's
welcome to the other side.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, obviously you have to be confident in what you can do. And I would say that you still never should, you know, guarantee any kind of results. That's asking for trouble. But, you know, I have results from past clients that I can at least share, right? Like there's a local ticket event, a local event that wanted to sell tickets. Mm-hmm. And we got them a 4x return over the course of like 60 days. And like, that's just something that I can say. Like, I'm not saying I can guarantee you 4x return on your money. Like, I can't. I could never, no one would, you know?
Right. But here's what you've done in the past and the results that people have gotten.
And one thing I will say that I've added to and this goes to a lot of the conversations that you and I had in the past about testing, and like you call it customer research. And it's so fucking important. Like I can't, or we can say that we're on the internet, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's so important, man. Like, yeah. So I kind of took a mixture of like the customer research and then building out test campaigns like that are testing 3 levels of the campaign, right? We're testing a number of different audiences first to see who's connecting with this brand. And then we're testing the actual offer or what it is that we're trying to get them to do. Yeah. And then we're testing just ad formats because there's so many. Like if it's an e-commerce thing, like this is king, right? The mobile phone. There's Canvas ads, there's carousel ads, there's dynamic product ad. There's so much.
Here's what I think is super cool. Like every campaign you ever run will like mess up eventually. You can just call it a test. Of course. We were just testing. Like we knew it was going to bomb the whole time. We were just sure that it was going to feel like, oops, like now it's a test, which is like super awesome.
Yeah. Well, and also it's like if you're asking for, you know, a lot more money up front, or at least I am for that process, because that is essentially one of the hardest parts. It's the most grueling. It's a 3 to 4 week process to learn who you're talking to, who's going to respond, and how you can talk to them like in a better way. And it's going to take ad spend. It's going to take agency fees for me. It's going to take time for everybody.
Yep.
But like the results of that could potentially be like business changing. You know what I mean? Like, and so you spend a few $1,000s up front to know without a shadow of a doubt that when we say we're launching this thing tomorrow, it's confidence at this point, you know?
The way I incorporate that, so I don't ever use the term A/B testing or split testing, because my clients, customers, I've never run into somebody who's paid me a lot of money that says, can you do a split test or A/B test? It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? But every single customer that walks through my doors understands the idea of customer research. So I just call it customer research, right? And so I incorporate that correctly, but I don't ever do that A/B test or split testing until like 3 months later, right? That's just like how I do it.
Yeah.
But I think it's like super absolutely fantastic that you had a client that you did a free trial for because you reached out, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see what happens. Then it works and you start charging him and he's totally fine with it. You do that 2, 3, or 4 times, which by the way is like the normal lifespan of a new agency.
Yeah.
The guy disappears, right? Like, yeah, we're putting on pause. We're going to see what happens. And then when he calls you, right? And says
he reached out, I think through email was like the initial touch point. He's like, hey, I haven't forgotten. This is what I've been doing. Like, it's important that I continue this relationship. I want you to know that. And like that was like, I'm like, wow, you know, like
my heart feels so good now.
Well, because then you know, in the dream, right, of everyone here is to create a product that people are busting down the door to buy, not one that you have to beg people to purchase, right? It's like Apple, it's like any of the big brands, like they don't have to sell anything. Like yep. you have a process in place, you have results, you have success, you're good at it, you care, and you'll do what it takes to get results and to be successful at it, and they can sense that, yep. You know, and yeah, so that's the goal, and that's kind of what I felt at that moment when he reached out, and I'm like, man. A client reached out to me to give me more money? Like right. What?
So you reached out, you get on the phone, you do Zoom sessions, slide decks, all that stuff, talk about high level things. And then you send the proposal. So like when you sent it, were you like, I don't know if this is going to work? Or when you sent it, you were confident it's going to buy? Like what was that thoughts and feelings about sending?
So I used to have that like, I don't know there's so much money. It seems like so much. Not anymore because I'll tell you why, is that usually I would send a proposal with a few lines of like, hey, I'm going to run your ads, and like one line item with this massive number. And even I'm looking at it going, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, what does that mean? What is he buying? What is he buying?
Right.
So everything has a line item, and it has an estimate based on the effort and the time that is going to go into it. And so when you see all of I think you call it a laundry list, right? Yep. So you have this massive laundry list of all of the deliverables that you're going to be doing for him. If you're going to create an email notification every time they get a sale, that's something, yep. Right? If you're going to link up lead ads to Zapier and send them a text message, that's a line item. Like yep. All of that stuff takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes testing to make sure that it works. And so you have to make sure you're getting paid for that time. Like that's your whole job, you know?
So what I found was like super interesting is like when I go to my mechanic, it's a black box of I don't know what the hell.
Of course.
Like, magic, my car was broken, now it's not, I don't know the difference. And unless they tell me, I don't know that it took 8 hours, that took $3,000 worth of parts, that it took 14 days of research or blah, blah. I don't know. So I try never to make that mistake with my proposals. Like I literally, and you use FreshBooks, so like I ding all the way down. Mm-hmm. I will put as much stuff as I can, obviously and explicitly with my proposal. Like I call it line item confidence. Just like list everything. And in my proposal, which is different than my invoice, in my proposal, I've got about 3 pages of line items all the way down. Like I've got A/B testing and split testing, customer research. I've got call tracking, call recording, call editing, strategy sessions. I've got talk to me by phone, email, text message. Like this is all stuff that everybody has, that everybody's doing, but nobody's putting in an invoice. And when you put it on the invoice, you got paid $6,500, which is super darn cool.
Yeah.
We're coming out to like 25 minutes in. If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns for Todd Mobley, he's based out of Ohio. His $6,500 invoice, he sent a proposal to an old-time client customer that reached out. They spent a lot of time on Zoom, strategy sessions. He did a line item proposal. and now he's $6,500 richer. He was obvious with his customer research, his split testing. He was confident about sending a proposal. So it really just wasn't a scenario of like, oh, I hope this person pays. It was really like the steps that you went through consistently time and time again. So if you got any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas for Todd specifically, now's the time. Otherwise, we won't get to them.
Can we see them in here?
So yeah, I see it on my end, and like BeLive got like hit by Facebook, so I don't see the people's names. So I have it over on BeLive on the right, and then I've got the Facebook Live on the left. So there's always one person watching, right? So it's me, like, and so like the I have to like match them up, and so like whatever you're gonna do, right? Kevin Murray asks, does the $6,500 retain? Is the $6,500 your retainer, or is it all the services, including what goes into that $6,500? How do you have that conversation?
Sure. Yeah. So it's probably important. Now I'm getting the feedback. It's weird. So it's probably important to break it down. So there is. Oh, is it getting weird?
Go for it.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Maybe it was Facebook. I think that was what was doing it. Okay. Yeah, it's probably important to. So this is an e-commerce client, and so the way that we onboard an e-commerce client, we take them through this, right? And it's that we start with it's a 3 or 4 month test, right? And it's like $2,000 in ad spend. That's the high. I give them like $500 and $2,000 in ad spend on this test. The more you sample size is going to be, the better information we're going to have at the end of that 3 to 4 weeks. So I give him a choice. He sees the importance of it, so he's like, yeah, two great to test, because we don't know anything. All we know is our 30 miles of radius. We don't know what's happening in the rest of the country, and that's who we're trying to target. So there was a large portion of that was like my upfront build out fee to build out the test campaigns, which are going to have up to 20, 30 ads in them. Like this is a grueling process. It's not easy. It's not something I can just go, hey, go to this website and buy some stuff. Like it's a lot of work. So one of the line items was the agency fee for building out the test campaigns. The other line item was, once we've done that, building out the actual launch campaign based on the data that we get back. And then his ad spend was in there, a recommended starting ad spend, right? Yeah. And so in a lot of those previous conversations we had, I said, when I recommend you spending X number of dollars a month, understand that all we're trying to do is get a positive return. And the moment we see that positive return, it's time to scale that baby. Like, gotcha. And it could be scaling like, it's time to double your ad spend. It's time to triple your ad spend. It's time to 4x your ad spend until we see that point of diminishing returns, right? You have to capitalize. If the algorithm is found its stride and it's doing its thing, like feed it, So
out of the $6,500, there's only like $1,000 in ad spend, right?
So there's $2,000 for the testing ad spend. Again, I gave him a range. I think on the invoice or on the estimate, it was like I put 1,500, but he's committed to the full 2,000 testing ad spend.
Gotcha.
So it's like my fees for the campaign build out and the testing was like $2,800 or something like that. And then there's $2,000 in ad spend testing. And then I recommended starting at about $1,000 a month in like the launch ad spend.
Gotcha.
And then I said, and that's just a starting point. Like, be prepared to scale that number when we have that positive return. Like, gotcha. That's important, because if you're putting in $1 and you're getting back $2, like, you've got an ATM at that point. So
doing that. Everybody likes internet ATM, yeah.
And I don't have to explain that to him very much. Like, he gets it. So that was nice. And then like my monthly retainer was in there as well. Yep. Right. So that's just a line item, but that's a monthly fee for me to be in there. Cause let's be honest. When you say, well, we're going to maintain and optimize the campaign monthly, it's daily. You're in there looking at that stuff every single day.
It's in your head. Okay. Yeah. You don't like turn it off for 29 days and then go, oops.
Exactly. So that has to be factored in. Like, if you're giving it that much care and effort, then you should be compensated, for your time.
So someone's got a question, says, did you do a discovery call, a Zoom session, high level concept? Is that the same that you're doing, or you just like stumbled into like this way of doing it with this one client?
Well, we did like early on, like the first time I met with him, this was like a year ago when I offered my services to him for free. Like that's when we did like the deep dive into who his customers are, what it is that he sells, who his current demographic of buyers are, those types of things. And then based on that, I go in and start doing some research, like audience insights research and stuff, just to kind of get us an idea of what the audience size we're working with is. But yeah, because it's the same people, right? It's the same people. He's dealing locally right now, but it's the same demographic, potentially the same demographic, countrywide. We'll find out in the tests. But.
So let me ask you this. When I send an invoice, my invoice is like $2,900 flat rate.
Yeah.
Includes ad spend. You're sending out a $6,500 invoice, flat rate includes ad spend, which is pretty cool. And so how do you get your clients, customers excited about buying? So the way I do it is like, I know just sending an invoice isn't like enough, or you have to get them like, come on, let's go. So what I do is I say, when would you like your results to start? Today, next week, or next month? And then everybody says today. So I say, great, you got to pay your invoice today, and we'll get it started immediately. And that way, like they never pay today, but it's in like 2 days, right?
Sure.
So what was that conversation like with your client for the $6,500 invoice? Was it like, pay it when you're ready? Or was it like, we need to start immediately? Or did you use the fact that he's building out all this stuff as like leverage for action? Like what was
so I said, I mean, he was very eager with every email, it was like, I'm very eager to get this going, right? So like he wants to make money now, and he's ready, but he wants to make sure that he can facilitate the flow of traffic that's going to come his way, right? So, actually, the only upfront fee that he had to pay was like that $2,800 in like build out fees, right? And so so then I break off those 2 pieces from the proposal, turn that into an invoice that goes right to him. He can pay online, he can send me a check, whatever.
Yeah.
And then and right now I'm like, until I see that check, like I'm not doing anything.
Right.
And that's the way it should be, because I know a lot of I know a lot of people, like, of course, like my creative juices are starting to flow, like on how I'm going to write the ads and all that stuff. But like, as far as like adding a pixel to his website, like, no, not yet. You just can't do that. I mean, it's up everyone has their own process. But like you said, we're doing all the work on the front end.
Yep.
So like we should be compensated on the front end as well.
So what's going to happen? So let's just say this is month 1. Let's say he pays, say he gets started for the next 30 days, right? What does month 2 look like? Are you going to find a way to increase his spend? What results are you expecting? Is that like the testing phase? What is that?
Month 1 is tests. That's it. It's 4 weeks of 3 to 4 weeks of tests. And depending on how long we can let that $2,000 in ad spend stretch, because we're going to potentially have, there could potentially be 20 ad sets, 30, 40, 50 ads, right? Like, I need quantifiable numbers. And it's simple. Like, it's not hard, right? It's a traffic campaign, and or engagement campaign.
Yeah.
All you're looking for is engagement or click-through rate. Like you could send them to nowhere. It doesn't matter. Like
I like that. Just make it fail on the back end. We need to see if people like.
Yeah, it's just front end data, and like based on that data, then we build out something that makes sense and it's logical, and it's not like, well, why did you write the ad that way? Well, I wrote the ad that way because in your test, your ads were connecting with 24 to 35-year-olds,
right? More
than it was anybody else.
So that's why I call it customer research. You're calling testing. I think it's the same idea, right? Like, what I really, really love is being able to say, this is what your ad's going to look like. What I really, really hate is having conversation with somebody who does not know their customers and having conversation about ads. The people that hire me almost never know about their customers. That's why I do customer research.
Yeah.
And then I build the ad based upon the customer research. And I tell you what, 99 times out of 100, when one of those clients says, I want to change the ad, their campaign is going to bomb. Happens all the time. Because they are talking about where their business is now, not the reactions of the potential customers.
Right.
So you're going to walk in, like the strategy and consulting and marketing expert that you are. You're going to say, based upon the data, based upon the research, based upon the ads, this is what's working, this is what's going to scale. And that's what that guy is paying you for, right? He's not paying you to like click on buttons, even though that's part of the job. He's paying you to figure out the right way to get the customers that want to buy his stuff. which is like, I think that's the overall thesis statement. Like that's why he sent out a $6,500 invoice. Let's cut it in half, and let's just say you're getting $3,500 a month in retainer. That's why he's paying you for the brain parts that say what he's supposed to do and the ads that he's supposed to run. We got to go on.
Well, here's kind of the beauty part of it, because like there's a large part of this, and with every client, there's a huge part of this of his business as it relates to return on digital advertising that we haven't even unpacked yet, right? I don't know what his margins are on his products that he's selling. Right. So technically, I don't know yet what we can afford to pay to acquire a new sale, because he's never done it before.
Right.
He's never done the e-commerce. So that's an opportunity. Like that's not like that should not be looked at as a negative, right? We all are creative marketers, right? So if he's finding that after 30 or 60 days, look, like we're seeing a positive return on the campaign. He's like, but what with that plus what I'm paying you, I'm not actually making any money. Well, then the conversation becomes, yes, but what's the lifetime value of each of those customers? And that's something, if he doesn't know what that number is, then that's another opportunity. Like, look, it may cost $25 to acquire a new sale, and that customer may only spend, I think his average cart value is like around between $50 and $70, which is great, right? So $25 to acquire them, average cart value, let's just say it's $50 on the low side.
Yep.
That's good. But over the course of the next 3 years or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, what do you stand to earn from that one customer?
And so what's going to be really cool in month 3, as you go down that journey and you buy another Russell Brunson book, you're going to realize that people will pay him for other stuff as well. Like I'm building out new products and services for my bike shop. Like we're talking about like paid training and athlete training and triathlon training, which all have different price points, which increase what that customer can possibly spend. Like if all Amazon did was sell books, they would make no money, right?
Yeah. And they didn't for a very long time.
Right. And so now you're going to be in a position to say like month 1, we're testing. Month 2, we know what works. We're going to put the money into it. Month 3, let's figure out new products and new services. And what's cool is that pushes up the money that he spends with you.
Absolutely. Like I already broached the subject of like some kind of, subscription-based thing, like $19.97 a month, and they get stuff shipped to them. Like not everyone's going to take you up on that offer, but some will.
Yes.
Like some will. And even if that sum is 10% of like your overall sales, like those people are who you need to like build out separate campaigns and separate offers and separate, value ladder type things for. But
here's like, for anybody watching this looking to grow and scale and move forward with their agency, that was the biggest and most important part. Like if all you're doing is Facebook ads, then Todd is probably deserving of $500 a month, right? Because it's turning stuff off and turning stuff on. But because you line itemed everything, you did strategy sessions, you understand month 1, month 2, month 3, you understand his business, what he's trying to accomplish, you built out, and this is like further back in the recording, like you had strategy sessions at top level, right? You displayed obvious and explicitly that you understand what he's trying to accomplish. You have a process to get that done. And that person is more than happy to pay you 3, 4, 5 times going average salary for a Facebook ads guy or gal, because you are helping him accomplish his goals, right? And I don't think at any point you were like selling a marketing program. You were more like solving his problems. Like,
of course,
probably needs to like sell stuff. This is how we're going to do it. I need to know who's like going to buy my stuff. This is how we do it. So like once you start moving from these selling programs to solving problems, your rate shoots through the roof a lot. Like I've got a car spending $10,000 a month with me. It's not because of Facebook ads. It's because I'm generating new products and new services. I'm auditing their staff. I'm generating new customer opportunities. I'm following up, doing call tracking, call recording, all that stuff. And you're going to be doing an equivalent of that. So it's totally possible, by the way, that like this guy is going to double or triple his spend with you as soon as he sees a positive ROI.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane. This right here, ladies and gents, is the last call for questions. And we're going to move it to the end of the timeline and things like that. End of the interview. There's a couple questions right out of the gate. Are you running ads to a Shopify store, a web store, a funnel? Like, what's your thought process for turning the interest from Facebook ads into money? Is it like a web store? Is it like they're calling in? How does that work?
Yeah, so I've run at, like, this guy has his e-commerce store built on BigCommerce. And that integrates easily with Facebook ads. Shopify was one that I just wrapped up recently. That also integrates super nice. Obviously, with e-commerce, you have the ability to run like those dynamic product ads, with a SKU count of like 5,000 SKUs, you want to be able to show people, and it's like similar to like the Amazon approach. When you go to Amazon, you look at razors, you go to Facebook, and 5 seconds later, you're seeing ads for razors. Like that's the dynamic product ad, and that's the potential. So typically something that integrates well with, like, can you do it with like a custom built like e-com site? Sure, but it's a lot more work, and so it's going to cost them a lot more money, right? Because you're manually exporting data, inventory data, uploading it to Facebook. Then if it changes, it's a mess. So, but yeah, BigCommerce, Shopify, any of the big like e-commerce platforms.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
But so I think he was asking something else though too, in regards to like just sending them to the store or sending them to the website or doing like a funnel. That changes based on, like, you remember like the minimum viable funnel idea. Well, there's like, that's like the minimum, right? You just send them to the site based on what they do. You retarget them with other ads. Well, the next step could be something like a free plus shipping offer.
Yep.
And that we would run maybe through like a ClickFunnels lander, but maybe have the landing page redirect to the front of the home page versus a thank you page when they claim the offer. So like, you can get creative with it, and people are doing this like all the time. And that just depends on the how much we want to build out that awareness, consideration, conversion idea. And typically, like, I would say start with the minimum viable kind of thing, and then as it works and as you retain the client, then then start offering those other things.
What's funny is I'm realizing all my funnels are minimum viable funnels. Like, they have the grossest, ugliest thing. They take like 6 minutes to put up, but they're viable. So like, who cares?
Always start there. Why overcomplicate it when you don't have to?
When they pay more and like stuff gets more advanced, you do more advanced things.
Yeah.
Another question is, are you using services or offers in the ad? Are you linking the landing page, directly going from ad to landing page? I think you're going directly from the ad to the offer or the page itself.
Yeah, so like the way, it depends, like it's different for each client, but a lot of e-commerce people sell like one thing. They just sell a widget, and so you're just sending them to the product page. Well, with a SKU count of like 5,000 plus, which is what this guy has, it becomes more of like sending them to a and we'll do this in the testing phase. We'll create an ad that links to a category of products, right? And then we'll maybe throw some of like their higher margin items in there as well. So this ad might go to the category page. The next ad might go to an actual product page, or a couple of different product pages. And that's what we do in the testing phase. We want to see.
So here's Todd. I got into. Here's what blows my mind. If you talk to your client about that, they would immediately eyes glaze over. They have no idea what you're talking about. That stuff you talk about like after they've paid you, or you hint at that when they're going to pay you, right? You don't talk about that in your strategy sessions or the big picture stuff. Yeah. They don't understand it. I barely understand it, right?
And it may not work.
Right.
So like, you don't want to build up this whole idea and this strategy, and if it totally sucks, then then what do you do? So you only report back with the things that did work. And you're like, hey, one thing we noticed in our test is that people really like this product because the view product pixel fired like 80 times on this one thing, right? That's the conversation to have. Not, hey, we're gonna link this and we'll do this, and it may not work. So why shoot yourself in the foot?
That's so awesome. Last question, and then we're going to move to the on-air offer. One of the questions is from, I lost her name. Faye Sommers says, what's the best way to do customer research? So I'm going to take care of that, and then you're going to take it. The way I do customer research is I follow the Ask method. It's written by Ryan Levasque. It's a book you can get online, free plus shipping, all that stuff. It's like $10. That's the book, right? So what I do is before I run any ad, I know that I don't know the tribal language, what should be in the ad, people's problems, all that stuff. And Ryan Levasque says if you can figure out someone's needs, wants, fears, and goals, then you're 95% of the way of getting them to buy your stuff. So I literally just do an engagement ad of people in my area or my client's area, and I ask them to fill out a survey. That's it. If I get between 15 and 30, then all of a sudden I know my campaign will work. And what's really, really cool is there's a car wash in Woodlands, Texas, and I think we're up to like 450 customer opportunities in 90 days, specifically because of the results from the research. That's how I run a customer research, right? But your version of that, Todd, is a little bit differently. You just kind of like throw stuff on the wall and call it testing, right? Like, is that?
Yeah, I mean, not to get too deep in the woods, but we'll obviously start off with like we'll test 10 different audiences. I'll have him give me his current customer list. We'll create a lookalike audience, a 1% lookalike audience in the whole country. That'll be another ad set. We'll test that. Then we'll do another one that's just with like one of his biggest competitor, and we'll use that as an interest targeting. Well, that'll be another ad set. And then maybe like that's how I'm testing the audiences, because each one of those, you need to make sure that the audience overlap isn't too high so that you're not competing with yourself. But yeah, that's the idea. You break out a bunch of different ad sets with a bunch of different audiences and see which one works. And then, like it's not quite as detailed as like understanding how to specifically talk to the audience.
Right.
We already know that they're into these things, and we let the second stage of the testing dictate that, like where we're looking for the demographics. You know what I mean? Like, and that's when the offer, and then once we know the demos that are reaching out and that are connecting and engaging, then we can write ads to those demos.
Beautiful.
So
we're bringing this to a close. Todd's been like super psyched about this. I've known Todd for like a year now, even though we never met in person. You're never in Miami for some reason, even though it's like way too hot in Ohio. So Todd's agreed to something pretty cool. He's going to give away 3 15-minute strategy sessions for whoever needs help on their e-commerce campaigns, how to do proposals, how to get people to pay, be excited about buying, all that stuff. And he's very much understanding of the Facebook ads journey and where people are, because he's actually doing it right now. It's not like he's 10 years out, like to get back. Like, no, he's in the trenches with you. So if you genuinely believe that Todd has given stuff that is very useful to you, that you want to take a next step on, or you need Todd's help in accomplishing a goal, comment Todd, help me out. And the first 3 people to comment Todd, help me out, I will put you in touch with them. You get a free 15-minute strategy session, things like that. And it'll help you figure out your next step as far as getting customers, clients, setting up your e-commerce campaigns, doing the audience testing that I have no idea what he was mentioning, stuff like that. So again, Todd, help me out. And the first 3 people to mention that keyword is going to get that 15-minute strategy session. We have David, Stack, Tamara, and Felipe. Those 3 people. Wow, there's a lot of people commenting. Todd, you are popular. So those 3 people, I'm going to send you an intro message between you and Todd, and the 3 of you are going to figure out a great time. Is there any last questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, ideas that you think people watching this really should be taking away from when it comes to charging more, being obviously explicit with their proposal, or just generally like getting their agency to where they want to be?
Well, I would say that, I think we said it a couple of times throughout the conversation, but the goal is to be able to charge based on your value, not based on your time.
Yeah.
And if that's your goal, then just provide a shitload of value. I don't know any other way to say it. Like, like we all know what's valuable to businesses and business owners. So give them what they want. Give them the value that they need, and they will be happy to pay you far, above and beyond what you're charging now.
Absolutely fantastic. Todd, I'm going to give you a call right after the end of this. Thanks so much for joining. Everybody, it's Todd Mobley. Helps you kick ass, take names. See you guys later. Bye.